My name is Faizan and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to talk about all the books that I have read in April month. April month was kind of a mixture. I read crime fiction, I read a non-fiction, I read a masterpiece of Salman Rushdie, and I also read a classic literature, a controversial classic book that you might have already heard the name of. And there was also a DNF. So, without further ado, let's begin. So, the first book I read was Skin by Mo Heather. So, if you are watching my channel or following my book reviews, you might know that I am reading Mo Heather for some time. This is the third book of her. The first one was the second book of the series that I read. Actually, it is a series of Jack Caffrey. Jack Caffrey is a detective, and we read his stories. So, the second book of the series I read first, and then I read the first book of the series that was Birdman. The second one was The Treatment, and this is the fourth book of the series, Skin, and I missed the third one, which was The Ritual. So, missed or skipped because I found this in the market and I got it and I read it. So now I have to read the ritual, the third one. And see, the problem with while these books are standalone, they have their own cases, they have their own plot and suspense, happy ending and everything. Their villain and the journey of hero, everything is standalone. But there are some character arcs. There are some depth to a character or a story or context that you get better if you have read the uh, books that were released before this one. Or if I have read the ritual, I would have understand some characters better and their relationship with the protagonist, because that's what happened in this book with me. To be honest, this book feels like a filler episode. There is The case seems weak because Mo Heather is known for a very gruesome and very violent and very creepy type of crimes. I mean, in the Birdman, the criminal was actually doing the makeup on the dead bodies to make them look alike a girl he had a crush on, and then he was leaving the bird in their stomach. And in the treatment, the person was kind of using the tunnels between the house. It was tunnels or the gaps between the door, gaps between the walls of two rooms. And he had the access to the entire colony, and he was using that gateway to kidnapping, not kidnapping, but he was capturing and locking the family members in their own house, in the bathrooms and such places. So those are very gruesome, very highly, weird crimes. You don't usually read. I mean, crime fiction. We read very different things. So, but Skin takes a little different route. There is a crime, but it is actually a missing girlfriend of a very famous footballer, and protagonist is trying to find her. And on the other hand, there is another detective, female one, who is also looking for a missing girl. And for the protagonist, Jack Caffrey, who is looking for a missing girlfriend of a footballer, see, the girl has killed herself. It was mentioned in the first few pages, in the first few chapters, but he is trying to find some angle for the to for the story or plot or something like. He is trying to see that if it could be linked to a criminal, it could be linked to something he has already uh, found in other books. So there are so many references, those there are so many talks and connection that this book try to make with the other books. There is a mention of his brother. The arc has completely and already matured in the second book, The Treatment, and I guess it was completed. Jack Caffrey never found out about his brother, and okay, I am not going to spoil the other books while reviewing this book. And there is also another detective who is looking for a missing girl, and she found out that her brother is actually involved with that girl. So there is a ethical dilemma that she either what she is going to do. She is going to protect her brother, or she is going to bring the justice. So she chooses badly, in my opinion. But that is the point. When it is not you, I mean, the point of the book, one of the lesson of the book is that when it is not you on the stake, when it is not your life or your relationship or your money or whatever you have, when it is not you on the stake, when it is not you who have to decide, it is very easy to say that to decide A or B. But what is when it is you, so you get selfish and you try to protect. You choose yourself. You go you keep all your morals and ethics and values aside and you pick yourself, and while doing so you think that I am doing such a very bad thing, doing such a I'm breaking my morals, I'm breaking my ethics, I'm such a bad person. You imagine that to reduce the guilt, because and the guilt is not of choosing the wrong thing. Guilt is not that you are choosing yourself. The guilt is not of that you are protecting your family members by doing a corruption. The guilt is of having a bigger values and moral and ethics and then breaking them, because you have spread these words, you have forced other people to choose the force other people to sacrifice their self-interest for the sake of righteous thing. But now when it is your turn, you are trying to avoid it. It is the same thing that happened in the drama I reviewed on my book movie blog. It was something like Las Piran, or I don't remember the name. So what happened in the book is the drama is actually inspired from Macbeth or Hamlet. I don't know. There is a story of Shakespeare where the boy find out or discovered or has a doubt that his mother and his uncle has conspired against his father and murdered his father, and he is now trying to take revenge. So that is so in that drama they try to give it a culture spin. So what happened is the sarpanch of the leader of the village or town is always ethical and always taking the ethical high ground. And but when his stepson said that you murdered my father, now uh, come to the court and try to defend yourself. Then what father what that person does is kill himself. So instead of going to the justice, he kill himself. So because for him killing himself is a easy than losing his respect. But that was not the justice. You are not bringing yourself to the justice. You are not doing the right thing. And this is what happened. People are very hypocrite. Now, I am saying it. I am also a hypocrite. I am saying that the person should have, you know, arrested her brother and brought him to the police station or something. But she chooses to ignore that. He chooses to hide the crime. And in a similar fashion, we have Jack Caffrey, who is also trying to avoid that, because Jack Caffrey, in the by the end, we get to know that he also have an idea what is happening, but he let it go. So kind of way he is also responsible. The book, that's why I called it a filler. It does not give any good story. It is just a depth to a character we are getting. It is just we are knowing the character. We are learning about them that they are not that good. They are not right. They are not. But this is a fourth book. We already know so much about Jack Caffrey, but whatever. Maybe in the next book there is some going to be something big. Maybe the more Heather is establishing their character, their relationship, and their motivation to, because he is going to make something big. But that's enough about one book. Let's move to another book. About suggestion, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to suggest to read Skin if you have not read the Ritual. But yeah, More Heather is always a recommendation from my side. If you are a crime fiction fan, why not? Another crime fiction I read was Black Eyed Susan by Julia Heaberlin or Evelyn. I don't remember upload a lot of this book because it has been a month. And in this book, a lot happens. There is a, I mean, what I remember is there was a girl, and the she was rescued from a grave, and in that grave there were like three more girls or two more girls, and she died. So the serial killer was known as the, and I mean these victims were known as the Black Eyed Susan, because Black Eyed Susan is actually the name of flower. And in present day, in the present day, the person who she you know witnessed, or we can say her testimony got that man in the jail, and now he was ordered to be hanged. But she one day she find out the black eyed student flower outside of her window, and think she she thought that maybe the criminal is actually out there and she wrongly imprisoned the wrong person. And this is how the story formed. So this is a kind of a story of a girl, and also how a wrong testimony goes out, and then she tried to protect that man. Then it is a psychological exploration of a victim, that how the memories are formed, how one can make wrong memories, and how to search for the right one. And another important part of the book is also the dynamics between two girls, two seemingly best friends can be actually be a not friend. They may harbor very hateful feeling towards each other. What happens is, when you are in school setting or in college, you are young. At that moment, you have a very strong desire to keep friends. You wish to impress many people, and one way to do that is to have an influence over some people who can cheers your activities or tasks. So you get a you kind of create a false advertisement of yourself. For example, if one tweet gets 100,000 likes and another get 2 likes, you so it means that so many people has relate to it. Now maybe those from 100,000 likes, maybe like 80% of them might be bots or robots. So this is how it works. You kind of influence by being a fake influencer. And to do that, you have to make friends. You have to have a small group on your side. And to have a big group, you have to make a small, strong, and loyal group. If you have three loyal friends and those three are loyal to you, those three are very, very, you know, they will always be with you. So it's like you have three generals in your army. Now those three will recruit two more, and this is how your group will become big, and you will become a central figure, and you will be an influencer. So everyone want to achieve that position in group setting, mostly in the school setting, because there you have a high pressure of to impress people, because teenagers has to do that because it is the nature. They are learning new things, they are experimenting, they want to be look cool, and you have, and one reason could be that when you are surrounded by hundred of people of the same age, so the things become competitive. I mean, in only in the school and in only in the school setting, even the college, there are people of different age. Only in the school setting, you have people of your age, like 80 kids of the same age at the same level of brain and maturity. And I mean, yeah, there will be a difference of 19 and 20, but yeah. So all of them sitting in one room, so there will be a high chance of a competition, and they all want to impress each other and all that. So, so that is one thing in this book that book explores, that how making a friend, how to impress a friend becomes so important that you start to create fake friendship. Even your best friend is not your actually friend. You are try to pretend to be a best friend so you don't lose a general of your army, and you keep that pretense as long as possible. So in that mix, there is a crime. To be honest, I did not enjoy this book a lot. That's why I don't remember a lot. But yeah, I read it because I wanted to know that how the book will unfold and what will actually happen, what is the plot and what will be the climax. And yeah, I mean I kind of guessed it in the middle that there is something wrong with these two friends and that something will happen. Yeah, but it is, if I have to say, I will not recommend this book. So please, if you can avoid, avoid. And another book is yeah, this is the one I DNF. Senor Vivo and the Coca Lord by Luis de Bernices. Something. I mean, it is something French novel. I don't know why I bought this novel. First of all, I have no idea why I have this book on my shelf. I don't like the premise. I don't like the language. I don't like the cover. But it was on my shelf, so I thought that I would give it. Actually, I don't have so many books now on my shelf. It is getting empty day by day. So now I am reading even those books that I was pushing for so long. So I now pick those books, and one of that book was this one. So I tried to read it, and after like 50 or 70 pages, I just gave up. I don't know what was happening in the book. I was completely confused. The writing was so weird. I mean, I don't have the right word to be honest to tell you. Maybe in some other time I will try to check it again. And then we have, yeah, own writing, the no the non-fiction one. Own writing by Stephen King. So the book is in my shelf from December 2023. So 3 months. So I thought that I will give it a read and see. I mean, I have not read so many books of Stephen King. I only read the One where the girl was in the jungle and she wanted to be a basket or baseball fan, something like that. Actually, I did not find the horror that other people say that he's a king of horror, but I failed to find it. Maybe horror is not something I am very fond of in a book because I don't think book can invoke that feeling of scariness that that movies can do. Even movies is not that scary if you are not watching them alone. But it is tough to imagine the scary thing, and even it is more tough to write them. But I guess Stephen King does, and she is very popular. So I picked this novel, and what I thought that it is a very highly recommended book on writing. See, if I checked any list on writing, because I also want to be a writer. I'm also a professional writer in a B2B marketing company. But other thing is every list I have checked where there is a recommendation to learn writing, to learn the craft. So this book is on that list. So I got it, and I'm disappointed because it's mostly a memoir, and it was written on the cover, a memoir of the craft. And but it is a memoir. It is not a memoir of the craft. It is a memoir of the crafter. If that crafts person, craft worker. Basically, it is a memoir of Stephen King, not the writing, because he start talking about his childhood, that how he is writing, then he come to his adulthood, how he sold his first book, how he come to write The Ring, how he come to write the all other book that he has written, like It and Shining and Doctor something. Yeah, but there are sometimes some points that were actually good, and one of them was that I really like was, do not put all your trust, or do not care too much about the grammar. It is Writing is not about the grammar. Grammar is okay. You have to have the right words. You have to have the right sentences to make them sense. But it is not like you have to have a Harvard or Oxford level grammar skills. And I really like that idea because so many people does not write because they think they don't have that good capture or good hold of the language. But you don't need to have that kind of grasp on the language. You can just start. And then there is also another point was that I really like from this book is I forgot I forgot. One was the one was the language, and the second one was I forgot. Actually, I forgot. I just had this in my mind, and now I forgot what was that point. And it was really good. I really followed that. Maybe it was maybe it was like writing every day, but writing every day is not a very. I don't think writing every day helps. I mean, yes, I write every day. To me, I write every day. I actually follow Premchand in this regard. So what Premchand has said that okay, I am a daily labor and I do not deserve to eat if I have not written that day. So I follow that. So I write every day and then I eat. And yeah, by writing I don't mean I write novels and stories. I just write whatever comes into my mind. Maybe sometimes it's just the reels on the Instagram. I write the stories on reels. But I am not going to disclose my account because then you will see the horrible person I am. And then, okay. So, do I suggest this book? Do I recommend this book? I would say no. If you want this book, to keep on your shelf, then okay. But if you want to actually learn something, you are thinking that I will read this book and I will learn something, then it would be better if you go on YouTube or ChatGPT or anywhere else, on YouTube, on Google, and search for the summary, because you will get the same information in less word. It will take less time and you will learn better, because most of the time Stephen King is just yapping in this book, just keep saying same thing again and again and again, and self-petting that I am like that, I wrote that, I was so good in that. Maybe all the teaching books are like this. That the teacher has to brag about themselves. Even in the college, the teacher brag. So why not in the book? And the another book is yeah, this one is a, you might have heard of, Lolita. Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov, a Russian writer. It is a very famous book, a classic study of sexualization in teenager girls and females and everything. There are so many interpretation of the novel, even the covers, even the title and everything, that I don't know what I can add to this review. But I will say, okay, you should not judge a book before reading it, because I have, when I was reading the review of this book, so I see many people, saying that in the comment section basically, okay, we don't read that book because the book is about pederasis. But the book is not about that. Yes, there is a part of the book, but it is about more. It is also writing. It is again very good writing. In the time period we are living, our attention span is very small, like 20 seconds, 50 seconds. We are habitual to watch a reel or TikTok for 20, 30 seconds. That's it. And at that time, I was able to completely focus on a paragraphs that were 2 pages long. I mean, it was difficult. When I was reading the Moby Dick, I was not able to focus on the Moby Dick. I tried a lot reading that book, but uh, I don't know what Melville was doing, but it was very difficult. But with Lolita, that does not happen. Those 2 pages long paragraph was just so simple to read, so captivating to read. It was not boring at all. It was not trying to show that how smart and intelligent the writer is, and that is one important thing writer actually sometimes fail to do. They over intellectualize themselves. They make themselves sound so smart that the masses take the backstage. The story take the backstage. The plot does not come across that interesting. Yeah, but in the book, every was moving fast. It was a good book. You learn a lot about a man, because the book is not actually about Lolita. It's the title Lolita. The man is obsessed with the girl, but the story is not. I mean, the I don't think uh, the movie. I have not seen the movie, but the book never show the point of view of Lolita. It is always about the Humbert Humbert. He is always talking. Even if we have to know what the Lolita is feeling, Humbert Humbert is here to tell you. Lolita tells us nothing. We only learn that she is crying, she is doing that, she is doing what, she might be feeling that, but it is all from the Humbert Humbert. That's why this book is amazing. You don't see the victim, you see the abuser, and when abuser is telling his side of story, you kind of see why he did what he did. And it is also one accomplishment of this book that the writer has successfully, you know, created a character that was so bad. I mean, though that is literally molesting a 14-year-old girl, but you kind of sympathize, you kind of understand him why he is doing that. You kind of like you can empathize with that person, and that is not a good thing, I guess. But again, it's the media who has sexualized the girls so much, so much. And I mean, even in that time, Nabokov, no. It is also critic on that thing. Like we have a 50-year-old lead with a 20-year-old heroine in a movie. Now, what is that? It is a Lolita. That's it. There's so much to discuss about this book. I have written a blog post, and I will make a separate book video around it. I plan to. But yeah, if you are not reading because you think the subject matter is very upcoming or very sensual, then please read it. Do not avoid this book. It is a only by the terms of writing this book is you are not going to regret it. And then there will be a plot, and then there will be so much in the learning. I think I will reread it after some time to see what I missed and what I can learn more. And the last book is Shame. Shame by Salman Rushdie. I guess this is the third book of Salman Rushdie. The first one was The Midnight Children, and I mean I don't remember. Maybe it is the second one. So by Midnight Children, the Midnight Children made Salman Rushdie. No, yeah, Midnight Children made Salman Rushdie popular, very popular, I guess. So what happened is there are not so many books when where I complete that book and then I go to Wikipedia and search for it to learn more about it. But this book is that I completed this book and then I guess 2 days I researched all about. Read about, a lot about Pakistan and the coup of 70s because the book is about that. It is about how a family take another family. It is a book about Pakistan. It is a book about the military rule and how it overtake the democracy. But it is not a non-fiction. Salman Rushdie has taken a lot of liberty, but there are so many characters that resembles the real people, and they are, I mean, don't resemble. They are directly taken from there, and it was smart. It was the writing is fantabulous. I mean, it is what I say when I say that K, it is even better than Kate Atkinson. So I was stupid to not rating Salman Rushdie earlier. It is funny, it is comic, and again, it does not use the word just for the sake of using that word. It really have several meanings. It is a vague book. It never goes anywhere specific. It try to keep things vague so you can decipher different meaning. You can interpret it in different ways. The story is have some fantastical element to it. There is a girl who who is disliked by her mother so much that all the hurt, all the rage, all the trauma went into her brain, and she turned into a monster or some kind of wolf, something. And then there is a man, a doctor, who has born and birthed by the three mothers and raised by the three mothers. Yeah, there is a fantastical, yeah, it is a fantasy and everything. It gives a deeper insight into the Pakistani communities and their culture. See, Pakistan and India is not different. Basically, they are the same people because Indian and Pakistan was same. And it also the title is shame basically. So the shame, which is a cornerstone of Asian culture, be it India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or China. Shame is what regulate our society in India. I think I have discussed it in another video or some blog post that how small communities or small country where small communities or small homes or all these things are important, and why they are important, and why you have to have that kind of friendship and relation with everyone. And one of the reason is shame. And how it works, that it is a universal and very important and necessary emotion of humans. It kind of motivates people to do that. The fear of shame. If a man see something happening that is wrong and he does not stop it, so the guilt of being shame, the guilt, there is two things. That is the guilt that the person will feel himself. Okay, I could have stopped it, but I could not. I did not. And the shame, and another one is shame that someone saw that person just looking at the crime but never stopping it, and then he will shame him. He will be like, okay, why you never, what was that word, why you never came in between to, to stop the fight or escalate the fight. And that is what happened. So there is a Pakistani army defeated by Indian army, and they are shameful. They are full of shame, and their pride is hurt. So what they do is they go to their democracy and they destroy it to get some pride back. They can't win outside, so they will come and win inside. They can't beat their enemy, so they will beat their women. That is what shameless people do, and that is what exactly Pakistani army did at that time. But again, there is also a spin of fiction that Salman Rushdie created there. So the general of military and the prime minister of that time, in the book, they were actually related through their sis- through their women's. So when two of them goes against each other, it kind of become personal. It is not just a fight of two strong men. It is also a fight of ego, and that fight of ego is actually perpetuated by the shame of due to something that a person said in front of another person. Basically, that is how the shame works. You kind of accuse someone, you make fun of someone, and now the another person have to retort back, or it will look like that you are a weak man. And that shame of being a weaker man will not be easily digestible in Asian culture or any culture, I guess. I mean, let's say today China sent a rocket to moon, and there is a Americans say, I don't believe in personally believe in moon landing, but let's say there is a flag on the moon, American flag, and China goes there and throw the American flag, and they add their flag to the moon and remove the American flag. So what will America do at that time? Will they send another rocket? Because now it kind of Chinese has attacked the ego of America. Now what will they do? So this is how most of the war happen. It is a ego, a shame that started. And I think I will buy the Midnight Children. I really want to read that book. And I think Midnight Children will be better than this because that's what the internet is saying. The Shame is a very good Salman Rushdie book, but The Midnight Children has won the Booker of the Booker, and there are three Booker prize to the one book, so it has to mean something. But I will be the judge of it personally, because as I always say, never judge a book by their reviews or covers or anything. Other people's opinion does not matter when it comes to experiencing the art, because the art is experienced through your personal experiences, observation, opinions, thought process, learning, and everything, your education, parenting, and childhood, everything. And again, after all that, it is also depend on at what was your mood at the time of reading it, what was your mind framework. So yeah, I think if you want something to eat, something very healthy that fill you up, that will like you will feel satisfied after eating content. Basically you will be like, yeah, I read something, I am happy. So yeah, shame is for you. And that's it for the April. And if you are still here, please try to subscribe and something.